Welcome back. In this one, we will see a special type of data structure available in R called lists. So what are lists? How is it fundamentally different from any other data type in R? A list is a heterogeneous data structure. What I mean by that is it can hold not just one data type as you would see in a vector, but also it can hold different objects inside it itself. In fact, a list can hold another vector, not just a vector, it can hold other lists also inside one single list. So that gives a lot of flexibility. Imagine you have data about, say, a particular country, and you want to capture all sorts of data about that country which are not of same length, which are not of the same data type, which are not of even the same class. And you want to hold all this data in one single object. In that case, a list would be the ideal data type that you want to use. Let's see an example with real code. To understand lists, I'm going to imagine a case and create some rough data related to that case. So the example is we have an international food chain that prepares burgers and we have the reviews data, text-based reviews for some of their products, and we also have the page numbers of the pages that customers visited on their portal and the page likes the company received on social media. This data is present or I'm going to create in the form of vectors. Reviews is a character vector. The page numbers, I'm sampling it from numbers 1 to 10. Page likes, it's a random number that varies between 1000 and 8000. It doesn't matter. But both of pages and page likes are numeric vectors. Now, if you look at the values in these vectors, the first one is of length 8. Second one is of a different data type and of different length. So is the case with the third one. Now, I want all these data to be stored in one single object because they are all related to the same entity, the international food chain. This is where list comes into play. If you put all these three items or whichever items that you want to store in list function, R will create a list out of it. Now, this is how the list looks like. The list M, the first object is nothing but the reviews, second object is nothing but the pages, and the third one is the page likes. Now, how to access the elements inside M? Let's see some cases. Now, M looks like this. Notice that the first level contains double brackets. The second level, that is the objects inside this double brackets, contains single brackets, which is actually the data that we originally stored. Now, if you do M single bracket, it is going to return this whole object in one single piece. Now, if you check what class it is a list. Now, I know that it is a list without even checking the class actually. How do I know? Because I see this type of a notation followed by elements containing single brackets. So if you see something like that, you know that this entire entity is a list itself. So now how do you get the original vector that you stored inside that list? To access that, use double brackets just as it is shown here. On running this, you will get the original vector back. And if you check the data type of this object, it is a character vector. So we got the original vector that we used to create M itself. Now from here, you can access whatever element that you want to get from this particular vector just by adding additional pair of square brackets with the index of the item that you want to extract. So that is typically how you can navigate inside the various objects inside a list. Let me show you a pictorial representation. This is a nice schematic of how to access various items in a list created by Hadley Wickham. Imagine the list that we created M as this pepper bottle. If you extract one single pepper using the square brackets, it is still a list. And now by adding an extra brackets, you go to the vector level and from within that you can still access the various individual items after extracting that particular vector. In our case, since this object, the pepper sachet was a vector, we had to use a single bracket after that. But if you had stored a list itself instead of a character vector, I would have had to use a double bracket in that position also. We'll see more examples of this.